So let's go. Let's get started. مساء الخير. لاباس. I'll continue in English. Don't worry. So in this presentation, it's not about AI for development, but more about adding AI features to your end users. So imagine you have a web application that you provide to your end users for any service that you want to provide, and you know we are in 2026, and you would like to add some AI features to enhance it, to make it more beautiful, more attractive. For example, text-based features for provide summary for text for users, or provide real-time translation or automatic translation. These are features that you can provide with AI. Or for image-based features, so background subtraction, face detection, or even add filters when you use social network applications. Or maybe you want to add voice-related features, voice synthesis, text-to-speech, all the things that I listed here and many more are now available thanks to the development of AI in general. So, of course, the result is to make the user happier. So the pictures are not made by AI, are made by myself with Excalibur. So please don't laugh. And of course, when you talk about AI, maybe the first thing that comes into your mind, to implement these features that I just listed, you may need to use a server. That's what we have seen so far. But to relate to what was said during the end of the roundtable, they were talking about edge computing for AI. And that's what I'm here to talk about, is that maybe the future of AI is directly in the browser. And thanks also to Forkit community for helping me make my title slide. I did nothing for this, not even vibe coded. So I'm Yassine Benabbas. That's my second year at Forkit. So I'm the same as last year, same bio. I didn't change anything but myself. Still at Worldline, still a teacher. I still animate the Lille Android Google Developer Group. And what changed is that I'm playing a little bit of Pokemon trading card game. So at Worldline, we're a leader at payment services in Europe. And in our team, we organize events, technical events in our company, and we maintain a YouTube channel, technical YouTube channel, and a technical blog. So please take a look if you want to learn some technical stuff in general, architecture, coding, and so on. So let's dive into the topic. First of all, we'll talk about AI on the server side, and then we'll delve into AI on the browser side through three libraries. There are more, but I selected three libraries: OpenCV, Transformers.js, and WebAI. And we finish with a conclusion. Okay, to add AI features to your web app, when you want to rely on a server, the architecture is very simple. So you have your web application, which you follow the numbers. So first of all, the web application requests the server for API calls or to get information, the page, and so on. But when there are features that rely on AI, in that case, the server calls an AI service specialized in this. And then the AI service provides the output to the server, which in turn gives the final result to the client. The question that we may ask is, or that can change, is where the server is hosted, the AI inference, where is it hosted? So there are two ways to do it, to summarize. You can either host it on you can either use a cloud provider or a third-party provider that you can pay by use, and he gives you the AI results or the result of the AI inference. That's what you have, for example, with Google AI Studio, OpenAI, Anthropic, all provide APIs that you can use to get output of AI models. And for students, I know that there are a lot of students here, you can also use some free AI API providers. For example, Google AI Studio you can use it. It provides a free API key that you can call to use to interact with Google AI models. And I have provided the link here if you want to see more AI free AI providers. So I have made a video to use Google AI Studio with Streamlit. It's not the topic of this presentation, but it's some product placement. So please like, subscribe, and turn the post notification bell on. Okay, so let's continue. The second way to do AI on the server is to host yourself an AI service. And we have just seen a demo right now with Ollama, for example. So there are tools that allow you to to download an AI model and to do the inference directly on your premises. It can be on the same machine as the server, but it can be also on a dedicated machine, which is more powerful maybe. Here, for example, in this quick demo, I have downloaded Ollama, downloaded the Gemma 3 model, and then developed a JavaScript application that interacts with the model. It's similar to, compared to what was presented before. So let me do the demo quickly. So here, I have my Ollama server running here. And I have, and let's open this web application just to show you the time to get the response. So I just ask the model to provide me a short joke about programming. So you see the time, how much time was spent. So why do programmers prefer dark mode? Because light attracts bugs. Okay. Let's go back to the slide. So you see the time it spent to get the reply. The model is hosted locally. It's an M1 Mac. So to summarize, AI on the server side allows to access to powerful models and up-to-date models. However, you have to pay some maintenance fee, because if you host it on your premises, you have to maintain the machine, or you have to pay the AI provider. There's also the confidentiality problems. It may be solved, it can be solved, but it's something to consider since data transits over the network. And speaking of network, there is a strong dependency over the network connectivity. So whether you subscribe to an AI API or you host your own AI machine, you have to spend some money. And what if I told you that we can get rid of the server? Not always, of course. For now, so that's why the asterisk, for certain use cases. For me, you can get rid of the server and you can do some things locally. Enters the AI inference directly in the browser. So your web application is now able to do some AI tasks directly in the browser with some JavaScript. So how does it work? The AI inference engine is directly in the browser, whether is it in your code or it can be also directly in the browser itself. And you only need the server to download the AI model, because AI models are still needed. You need to download the web app, you need to download the AI model. But when this is done, you don't need the server anymore. So let's talk about one first library that provides this kind of feature. So it's OpenCV.js. So when I see this library, I'm a little bit nostalgic because I used it during my PhD about computer vision, and I used it in C. So I was crying a lot, but it's very nostalgic. So it's a library written in C. It's been used a lot by researchers, for researchers, but it has evolved so much that it can be used by everyone. It has been ported to JavaScript and WebAssembly, making it very fast and very efficient for the web. And it's specialized in image processing and video processing. So you see in this code snippet that we instantiate two classes, two objects that allow to detect faces. And in each face, so here we detect the faces. And in each face, we detect the eyes. And you can see that these below two XML files, they are considered like some kind of model to help the detector detect the faces and the eyes. And what's good about having this kind of use cases directly in the browser is that you can do the demo directly in the slides. So I'm using a tool called SliDev to generate the slide, which is HTML-based. So I can even embed my demos in my slides. So this is grayscale. As you see, it's real-time processing. Background removal. You see, it's like it detects non-moving moving objects, sorry. And there is the detect face. And as you can see, I can even like do some feints, but it works. And imagine that you have now in a use case when you want to do a shopping mall or a shopping shop to sell clothes and accessories, and you want the user to try things directly in the shop without like having to change. So you can do things like that, like to try sunglasses. I didn't find the sunglasses, so I use the emoji like this. You can replace with a hat or with whatever you want. So let's stop to not to rest the camera. Talking about OpenCV, this is another video made by Guillaume Chervet. So he's from the north of France, like me. So I'm doing some advertisements to my Nordic people. So in Devox France, he presented an introduction to OpenCV. But for me, it's even a little bit more than just an introduction. It's a real use case where they replaced an approach based on data science, heavy machines that use a lot of CPU, a lot of RAM. We replaced everything with simple OpenCV or straight, simple chain of OpenCV algorithms. The goal was to, have driving permits taken in not correct orientation, not correct detection. So he used OpenCV. Initially, they used the data science models, AI models, to correct the image, the driving permit, to have it in the correct orientation. But if they found that with OpenCV, it's much faster and much more efficient. So I really advise you to watch his talk. Another library that allows to use directly the AI models, LLMs and so on, directly in the browser, it's called transformers.js. So this is more generalistic. It allows to do more use cases than OpenCV. So it's developed by Joshua Lochner, known Xenova. He's from Hugging Face. Do you know Hugging Face here? Who knows Hugging Face? Okay, so Hugging Face, everyone knows it's the biggest library to download models, open source, free. You can use it. So what is Transformers.js? It's just a library that allows you to run AI models directly in the browser. And since it's JavaScript based, you can also run them in Node.js, Bun, and so on. So it has this also additional feature. One particular thing is that the models are in a special format called ONNX, meaning that if the model is not, if the model that you want to use is not in this format, you need to convert it. But there are tools available. And there are many, many models available in the Hugging Face website. As you know, Hugging Face is a huge database for AI models. In the how to use Transformers.js, it's very easy. So it's JavaScript, and it's very it has a universal API called pipelines. Pipelines allow you to define your AI task using simple function calls. So first of all, you define your task, like they're well-defined, sentiment analysis, text-to-speech. The list is well-defined in the documentation. You choose your model. So the model ID is the identifier of the model in Hugging Face. Very easy to find. And the options, of course, here you will use web GPU to have faster processing. So we rely on the GPU to do the inference. And then we create the pipeline. We create the pipeline object. And then we ask the pipeline to output the result of our prompt. For here, for example, we say, I love transformers. And since it's sentiment analysis, the result that we get is if it's a positive or negative statement. Meaning that with this kind of libraries, you can implement on the front end, detect if a comment is toxic or not, before, for example, sending it to the server or showing it to other users, or So this allows to add some to make the servers lighter or to help the servers in accomplishing certain tasks. So I have a demo which combines multiple pipelines from Transformers.js. So let me open it. So you have automatic speech recognition, text-to-speech, and text generation. So here is the demonstration. So it's similar to ChatGPT, but it's local, 100% local, executed by the browser. So it won't be very as precise as big models, but let's see what we have. So where is Tunis? of course, let's check for the audio. Let's try again. Where is Tunis? For now, it's right. I guess it's the correct information. By the way, text-to-speech and speech-to-text are natively available in the browser. You can use Transformers.js to achieve this, but the browser already provides these features. For this demo, I have the two modes, like to have the choice. And now let's ask like the very important question for North African people. What is harissa?
Of course, there is a type of fruit that is commonly found in the Mediterranean region, particularly in recent Turkey. It is a sweet fruit.
Sweet, not sure. The sweet, not sure. And as I said, so it replies, but of course it's not as precise as big language models. Okay, let's continue. So Zenova has, so this is a demo that I developed, of course, with the help of some help of AI, but Zenova developed a lot of more demos. So let's try some of them. And all this, I repeat, they run locally. They run locally on the browser, no internet needed. So this is code generation. So this is a page that allows you to write Python code. But of course, we won't write Python code. We'll ask Transformers.js to generate the code for us. So I do a right click and click on generate, and you see that the code is generated very fast. Okay, so this also is a use case that can be done locally. Maybe in the future we won't need a subscription to Cloud Code or Copilot, I don't know. Maybe you can do it there directly in your browser locally. Let's try another demo. So this may be, so please don't judge my drawing skills. So it's Doodle Dash. It asks you a word and you have to draw it. So let's draw a broom. Okay, it was correct. A helmet. Talking about RPGs. No, okay, let's skip. But you see the idea. Spreadsheet, oh my God. Prediction, rain, okay, let's go to the next demo. So one last thing that another thing that I will show in the demo, there are many things that you can do, as I said, directly in the browser, no internet needed, is to generate music. So of course, I tried to generate Algerian Rai or Malouf music, but it doesn't work. So let's stick with the things that work well. For example, here I generated some 80s music. 10 seconds, but you can configure more time. Let's try another thing. Yeah, so Malouf, Andalus music, piano, guitar, derbuka. Let's try. Yeah. That's not the sound of derbuka that I know from my childhood. Country sound music. Yeah, this is maybe much better. Okay, let's continue. And there are many more demos. I have the link here. And to finish my presentation, and for me, that's really the most, how to say, the most innovative area in AI in the browser is called Web AI. Why? Because it's a web standard, and it's part of the W3C web working group, WebML working group. So it's W3C standard. It's really new, very fresh. It's still in development. So that's really a thing maybe that you will see in browsers if it's adopted, if it's stable, maybe in 5 years, 3 years, we never know. And currently, it's working on Google Chrome for desktop, and it relies on Gemini Nano. So you'll have Gemini Nano directly running in your browser. So how does it work? You have your web application here. When it wants to do some AI inference, it will call some web APIs that we'll see an example later. And using the built-in models like Gemini Nano, for example, and your local hardware, CPU, GPU, NPU, whatever you have, everything is managed by the browser. We, as developers, we only need to know the web APIs. So some APIs available, the APIs that are available, they are very specific. That's just the particularity of web AI is the APIs are very specific for very specific use cases. It's not general use APIs. So to create summaries, to translate, detect languages, proofreading, write text, correct text, and some general and some prompting. So so to use the APIs, the JavaScript API to use it is similar from one use case to the other. You just need to change here the name of the API. So let's take a look at, for example, using the translator API. First of all, you check if the translator is available. So it's basic JavaScript. You define the options, the source language, target language, and depending on the API that you want to use, other options. The availability, here you check if the API is available. Since it depends on the hardware that you have, on the options that you specify, what you want to do may not be available in the browser. So you have to check for the availability. And if it's unavailable, you can't provide the feature to your user. But if it's available, you just create the model corresponding to your use case, to your API and your options. And then you request your model. And here, for example, we want to translate hello world from English to French, et it will become bonjour le monde. So I did some demos, or I developed some demos using the Web AI APIs. The Chrome team developed also a lot of demos, so let's take a look at some of them. So this is the page where I list all my demos related to Web AI. Let's start with this. Let's start with this one. Let's go. Mail assistant. You know, for example, when you go to a support to website, you want to file a support ticket. You have to put your name, the order ID, and then you have to enter again a message, which is really repetitive. So imagine that when you go to create a ticket, if your browser provides this feature, you can show a generate button that can take your name, the title of your ticket, and your order ID, for example. And then you just click on generate here, and it will generate the body of the message directly for you, and that you can edit or just send directly. So that's one case where using API in the browser, this is not needed on the server side. Like this feature is useful on the client side. And this uses the writer API. Another demo, here it's a language detector. So you have 3 sentences. So it's in French, English, Japanese. So they say the same thing, how are you, good morning. And I click on detect languages, and you see on the right that it detects the languages correctly with 100% confidence. But did you note how much time it spent to detect the languages? It's very, very fast, okay? One last demo, I hope that another demo here is translation from English to French. So I have some text here, and I click on translate, and you see how fast it was translated locally from your browser. So let's finish with a demo. I hope that it works. So let's try again. Sorry, I have to quickly go back. I hope that it works this time. No, it doesn't work. So there is an issue, maybe with it's because we need internet connection to establish the connection between 2 clients. So the idea of this demo was to have 2 web pages. The 2 web pages open like one next to the other. They communicate with WebSockets. And here I think the WebSocket server doesn't work correctly. Maybe it's an internet issue. But the idea is that one user writes in his own language, his favorite language. Using the Web AI APIs, we detect the language of the user. And the one that receives the message, he replies with another language. And thanks to the APIs, the AI APIs, we detect this language. And then they translate it to the language of the user receiving the message. And then both users can discuss with their home language, but the translation is automatically done on the client side in real time. So it's too bad it doesn't work. Okay, still have 5 minutes. Let me try one last time. Okay, the server was not running. Okay, let's try again. So I need to reload the page. Okay, let's try this time quickly. Tac, 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 tac. Connected, perfect. So let's say bonjour. Okay, so here you see that the current language now is French, because thanks to Web AI APIs, we could detect the language. And since this by default is English, so we translate from French to English. And you see that it's real time. It's very, very fast. Faster than what I showed earlier with Olama using a Gamma model. Okay. So I say hello, and then you see that it will translate back to French. And of course, I say j'aime la harissa. Let's go back to one last time and say I like harissa. Oh, okay, now it works. So that's also another use case where you don't need the server to achieve it, but thanks to Web AI, you can have real-time translation and language detection between peers. Okay, now did I convince you that you don't need to run AI on the server, but why not run it directly in the browser? So let's summarize. So running AI locally, the data is in your device. So in terms of confidentiality, it's much better. There is no server cost when you do AI on your browser. However, it's not scalable. It depends on the capacity of your machine. It depends on the browser that you use, if it has APIs or not, and so on. So in terms of scalability, it's not as good as on server. And of course, also the models, it's limited. We don't have the very big models that you can have on server side on the server. And here, let me show you in Chrome, you have this special page, which is called Chrome on-device internals, where you can check the AI model that is being used, and you see that it's Gemini v3 Nano here. So that's what is being used. And to conclude, AI offers new possibility for web applications. And I see that it's same as deciding between either you do server-side rendering, client-side rendering. Now we also have to think about doing server-side AI or client-side AI. So there is always this battle between doing server-side and client-side. And some JavaScript libraries are already available. Web AI is still in development, but you have transformers, OpenCV, and many others. And Web AI, for me, will be a revolution. Thank you.